Hello, everyone, and welcome to Global Wellness for All podcast. My name is Laleh Hancock, and I have the great pleasure of being your host every single week, bringing in conversations, tools, resources to bringing more wellness and well-being in all aspects of our lives, whether it's relationships, it's finances, business, our bodies and mental health, whether it's having more communion with our magical earth or bringing more awareness and consciousness in everything that we're choosing. So thank you so much for being here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Global Wellness for All podcast. My name is Laleh Hancock, and I'm going to be your host and the speaker today as I am the guest. I wanted to have this conversation with you guys before I leave Dubai. I had the great pleasure of being here the last 2 weeks, and I have a lot that I'm going to be sharing with you guys in the next year and many years to come, because there's a great partnership that's taking place here in a wellness building. But what I also wanted to chat about is engagement. You know, for so long, most of us learned in business, the tasks. These are the things we have to do. You want to close a deal. These are the things you have to do. You want to hire employees. These are the things you have to do. But one of the greatest aspects of any kind of interaction, whether it's going to be with your employees, it's going to be with your clients, or it's going to be with people that are in your personal life, it's how you engage. And in the last few years, engagement has become a little bit of a buzzword in the business world. So I know I've had a lot of different conversations over the years about engagement, but one of the things that I realized being here is how different things are. You guys know I was born in Iran, lived in France, moved to the US, and lived there for most of my life. However, the last many years, I've been traveling around the world. I get to really meet people, get to learn their culture and how things are done, not just in business, in collaboration, in engagement, dealing with others. And every country has its own uniqueness. And it's interesting. For me, being in Dubai was almost like a memory bank of my childhood and the formalities, the things people say and do. And one of the things I realized also is how much we take for granted the importance of engagement. Like building those personal contacts, building them, your business contacts becoming personal is so different than when you're just doing transactions. And most of us don't realize there's also an energetic component with engagement, which is so different than a transaction of I'm doing this and you're going to do this for me, which is really transactional. And the energies that go with that are very limited. They're energetic, or I should say the generative energy of them having a ripple effect to create into the future is not really there. When we engage, it doesn't have to be personal, but you take the moment of engaging in person, on a phone call. These days, everything is on Zoom. So you have this technology that's kind of in between you and them. But for engagement to occur, there's questions that are asked. For example, even my hotel, I stayed in a particular part of Dubai, which is away from most of my meetings, but because of the training that I was having here the last few days. And my experience here was wonderful. I have a beautiful suite. And people took great care of me. And one of the things that was different is sometimes they ask you for a survey after you've left, which I'm sure they're going to do. They'll be sending that as well. But the head of the maid department contacted me today to find out about, I understand you're going to be leaving. how are the services been, and it was really interesting because even with her taking that extra step to engage, it was very artificial. It was still that I called to get a check mark to let my staff know that we did well. Now, how she could have done it different is not be scripted. She could have actually been more about asking me questions besides, if you could rate from 1 to 10, what would you say? And she said that 3 times. Now, one of the maids was incredible. His engagement, his conversation, he asked me questions. Now, I know some guests don't want to talk. I do. I love learning about people and their culture and learning also about them. And he asked me questions to know my preference, the things that I like, my robe, my bed, just little aspects, even here at my dining room table and the couch, like even making sure my favorite tea was being left behind, not just a generic teas that they would give to everyone the same amount every single day. And when she asked me, I said, well, I cannot give you one number for my entire stay because the people were different. And I know the person who did my room today was a very different person than the one who did it yesterday. Now, if she really was smart, which I don't know, we'll find out, she would have asked me more questions, but she didn't. She just wanted me to say, I was happy. And I'm going to tell you, it's interesting though, whether we know it or not, all of these engagements, these conversations have a future that they create. And the more you ask questions, you actually allow those engagements to go even greater and greater and greater. So it's not just about me, but it's about how the voice of the business pulls the customers in. And my voice of gratitude and happiness to the service that I received by that gentleman actually goes out. It's like little sprinkles, right? It's just sprinkling across the universes. And it's not linear. However, it does gain momentum. So this is where things are different. A lot of times people just think engagement, another check mark. No, it's also how you engage. And when you ask questions from sincerity, not just a check mark, not just a script. Our world has shifted and changed. The scripted world, oh my goodness, that's probably 1980s and 1990s maybe. That's been years, but yet still people function from that. So it's okay to have a list of questions, but how you deliver it, the way you're willing to ask, do you actually care about the answer? Because the client knows. They know when you do not even care about the answer, you're doing it just to say you did. But then look at also those moments. Like for me personally, the engagement I received from one maid makes me want to give him lots of money as well. Now, some of the others I didn't meet, I'm still going to leave them money. But for him, I'm leaving a special envelope with his name. Why? Because his engagement, I can also tell he's also willing to receive, not just money, but willing to receive. Like he went out of his way to make me feel really good because he knew when I feel really good, he felt really good. Now I'm using the maid as just a simple example. We have this in business all the time. I've had so many meetings while I've been in Dubai, and it's so obvious the meetings I've had where I'm going to want to do more business with some and not others, because it really is, this engagement is different. So I'm curious, look into your life. Now, look into your business. How do you engage? How do you engage with your employees? How do you engage with your clients? How are you engaging with your different vendors? We all know that when there's a connection there, we go out of our way to do something different for those people. When it just seems like it's just very cold, it's transactional, It's just here, I give you this, you give me this, and nothing else. Doesn't mean there's going to be any return business. Now, most people in business, they think if they give you a discount, that's how they're going to win the clients over. So that's not how you gain my business. I went and got my nails done last week, and the young lady, she was incredible. Her work was great, but then we started to engage and have conversations. I started to share some tools of wellness because she was so excited. She wanted more empowerment tools. Now, I know the engagement I had with this young lady, the engagement she had with me, she's now following me and has different things that she's already started connecting with me. Now, her boss, when I was leaving, she introduced me to her boss, and her boss's only aim was leave this feedback on Google, leave this feedback here, and then next time you come, I'll give you a discount. But she didn't even care to know my feedback. She didn't want to know. Her only agenda was for me to fill out a survey online so that she looks good. I'll tell you, before her mouth opened, I was willing to go to any site and talk about my experience. After her mouth opened a few times, I wanted nothing to do with it. So it really is, it's not just about money, guys. Are you looking to build a short-term, mid-term, or long-term experience with your staff, with your colleagues, with other businesses, with your clients, with your relationships? I mean, just even look at people in your family. You having this transactional relationship, how far does that go? When you are willing to engage, there'll be less challenges and problems at work. People will feel more valued. They'll feel like their voice can also be heard. Their creativity, their awareness can be shared. And that creates not just loyalty with the employee, but you're creating the energetic energy flows that take that enthusiasm, that engagement out into the world and exponentializes bringing you clients in, bringing you opportunities in, bringing you possibilities. And most of us don't realize, but everything in our universe, everything on planet Earth goes linked with molecules and energy. And when we're willing to include our awareness of what is my frequency, what is my energy, how am I communicating with others, you'll realize those moments that you ended up spending a lot of time, a lot of energy, and the deal never closed. And those moments where there was least effort, the greatest engagement led to that opportunity closing, but also opening the door to other types of business together. So that said, where are you engaging? And where are you just doing a transaction? Now, this is all you. You get to choose. Whether you're working for a startup, whether you have your own company, whether you're an enterprise, this all applies. So, are you looking to expand? Are you looking to ensure that you are able to not just retain employees, but make sure they're productive, that they're able to grow with the business? This all ties into wellness. This is part of the wellness of your business, part of the wellness of you. And I wonder if you start to really pay attention more, notice the moments that you have the most tolerance, allowance for people, and the moments you don't. And you'll notice it's where they're engaging and where they're not. So I'm curious, what could you put in place today that allows more engagement? And it starts with you. Each one of us has to be a leader of our life and living, has to be the leader at home and at work. Each of us. So it doesn't matter what title you have as you're listening to the show today. What are you going to put in place today to engage more, to have that communion and allow this engagement and allow the energies to continuously expand out? Because what happens is as energy goes out, it kind of like tickles people, you know what I mean? It trickles out, touches, and then it pulls as a reverse flow to wherever you're going. Now, a lot of times with the transaction, there is no return back to you. It's you doing, it's you giving, and everyone else taking and continuing to go. But if you're interested in true contribution, which is gifting and receiving simultaneously, it allows the growth for you and it allows the growth for others. So I'm just curious how this will go for you. Please let us know. You know, you can go to globalwellnessforall.com/contact. Let us know your feedback. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can send feedback there, but I know we're on all these other podcasts. So we want to know your feedback. Let us know. All right. So saying goodbye from Dubai, off to Houston tonight, and looking forward to having many more conversations from there. And how much more fun can you have bringing a lot more engagement into your life and into your business? So until next time, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, whether you were listening or watching live or on a replay. We are so grateful for you. We want to hear from you. What would you like to hear about? What are topics that get you excited and you would like to know more about? You can message us on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, or even sending us a message at globalwellnessforall.com/contact. And also, would you be willing to assist us? Would you be willing to contribute spreading these seeds of wellness and well-being to others? And as always, we are so happy you're here and what is truly possible with our amazing planet the minute we're willing to have more wellness and well-being. See you next time.